Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go?
Great.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we were with Jason Crespin. Am I saying that right?
Jason Crespin, actually, yeah.
Jason Crespin from the Amarillo Little Theater. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm well. I'm very thankful to be on today.
Jason, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up and how did you get into the position that you're at the theater?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in northern New Mexico, a town called Los Alamos, about an hour north of Santa Fe. Moved to Amarillo when I was a freshman in high school. Started doing theater at 15 here at the Amarillo Little Theater, and always did theater here growing up. And then right out of college, got a job here as the academy director. So I was in charge of the children's theater.
Okay.
Did that for 15 years, and now I'm the new appointed executive managing artistic director for ALT. So
Fantastic.
full circle for me.
Tell us about your theater. What do you guys do there?
Yeah.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go?
In fact, we are 95 years old. We were built in 1927. And like I said, we, through the war, even the pandemic recently, we never have closed our doors. We kept our doors open each and every time. We are kind of the premier regional theater in our Texas Panhandle. We have two different stages. We have our main theater, seats about 453. We have a smaller black box theater that seats about 180. We have an academy program, so we have about 700 kids that train here, that do theater and classes here. All of our actors are volunteers. We have, of course, a board of directors. We're a nonprofit, so we're run by a board of directors. For the size of theater that we are, it's kind of unique that we only have about 8 full-time staff members, a handful of contract labor for when it comes to instructors, and a whole bunch of volunteers. We are blessed by the amount of volunteers that come and volunteer their time to help build sets, help work front of house with ushering and work in our concession area, and then of course also volunteer their time and talent and be in shows.
Wow. Fantastic. So tell us about some of the productions you have there.
Yeah, so we just finished out a production of Guys and Dolls. That was our May show, or our fall show this year. Last year we did a production of Shrek the Musical. We have auditions October 9th and 10th for Elf the Musical, a huge holiday show that we'll be producing. Our Academy students are rehearsing Robin Hood right now. They'll be doing Cinderella in the spring. We do murder mystery plays. We've done Murder on the Orient Express. We're going to be doing Clue this coming year. If it's a show, we've probably done it, from Steel Magnolias to the big movie musicals like Mamma Mia and Legally Blonde. That's what we're blessed with, our two theaters that we have. Our main theater is really for that family-friendly kind of environment. That's where we're getting to do Elf and all these big shows. And our smaller theater is great because we're able to do more cutting-edge theater, or maybe some theater that might be a little bit more rated R, or has profanity, or has elements of shows that you're not going to bring everyone from your family to. That's where we've done productions of Cabaret. We've done Chicago the Musical over there. We've done some gripping titles that have won Pulitzer Prize or Tony Award winning shows. So we really are able to offer something for everyone.
Fantastic. Let's have a little fun for a little bit. What's the best theatrical production you've ever seen in your life?
Ever that I've seen in my life?
Ever.
Man, great question. I luckily have been to New York several times. I had a stint in New York with a contest or two that I've won, so it's taken me to New York quite often. And I will say one of the strongest plays I've seen was recently To Kill a Mockingbird with Jeff Daniels. Was an absolute brilliant show. I've seen the musical The Color Purple on Broadway. That blew my mind. I actually went back and saw it 2 more times after that. Man, that's a good question. You know what? One of the shows that still in my head, I still think about, was the first trip I went to New York. I was 19 and I saw a play called Metamorphoses, and it's a vignette play where it's all Greek mythology, and it's told through little vignettes. But the acting space is a huge pool of water that they're in and out of this water constantly, and that blew my mind. It was pretty cool. So
that's pretty cool.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Very good. All right, one more fun question. If you could bring any production to the Amarillo Little Theater, what would you bring?
Oh, one that we have not done. We've been blessed to do some great shows. You know, I have playbills on my office. I'm redecorating my office and looking at that list of past shows. You know what? I There's a great show won the Tony Award several years ago. In the Heights. You know, it was made famous recently by the movie. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote that musical
Okay.
before he wrote Hamilton. I think that would be my dream to do that show. Although my very first show to do here was West Side Story when I was 15. So I'm ready to bring that back to our stage and me in the director role this time around than
Man, that's
rather than
cool.
an
That's
actor.
cool.
So yeah.
So do you guys do only theatrical productions, or do you do other forms of entertainment there at theater as well?
You know, great question. With our schedule, we have 5 main stage productions, 4 adventure space shows, and 3 academy shows a season.
Mhm.
So we really are always in constant rehearsal or building a set for something. So there's not really much time for us to produce any other kind of shows. We do in June, we have a special event where we usually, it's a big fundraising event for us.
Mhm.
And we've hosted Broadway personalities before, artists. This past year, we had a Tony Award winner Kelly O'Hara. We've had crazy performers before, so
Yep.
so we will do like a big concert once a year. But really, sadly, that's really all the time. Although I will say we're going to collaborate this year with a dance troupe in town and host in May their spring rehearsal recital type performance
Yeah.
For them. But really, it's hard for us to squeeze in anything else. In December, there's a great group out of New Mexico called the Flying J Wranglers.
Mhm.
For several years, we produced their kind of Christmas cowboy show.
Yep.
It was great, and they came in and would do their show. Every now and then, we're able to squeeze in a live music venue event, but it's
Yeah.
pretty far between.
Very cool. How can people find out more about your theater, Jason?
Yeah, the best thing is go online, AmarilloLittleTheater.org. We spell our theater Theatre. That's the best place to look at us on all social media outlets, of course. Everyone is always driving through Amarillo. They're like,
Sure.
I passed through Amarillo on my way to Albuquerque from Oklahoma or vice versa. And we say, stop
Yeah.
one night in Amarillo. You'll take your picture at the Big Texan. You'll take your picture at, the Cadillac Ranch kind of event. We have the second largest canyon in the nation, Paladero Canyon, second only to, of course, the Grand Canyon. But other than that, we have the best little theater in Texas by
That's
far,
awesome.
in the nation. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Years ago, this was late 1990s. This was where Oprah Winfrey, where she held her show when the Texas cattle beef industry sued her and they didn't think she would come to Amarillo. She came and she actually did her show right from our stage, and so we're known for quite some crazy things, but we're really known for great theater in the
Oh,
Texas
that's
Panhandle.
awesome. Very cool. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
you in the future.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle